Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I apologize for my extended absence. Got kind of sick there for a little bit and then life got kind of busy, so I haven't been posting anything anywhere near as much as I would like. But I am back today with a video on Gran Turismo 7. I am here to show that after the latest update, 1.13, the SRT Tomahawk has not been nerfed. The original setup was nerfed, but I'm going to show you today how you can set it up to still get it under 600 and be able to use it in any of the events you would like. So let's get to the garage and take a look at the settings sheet. Alright, so this is using racing hard tires. I've seen other ones out there that are using comfort hard. I have tried that and your car just slides everywhere and it's no good. So, using racing hard. Body height adjustment. I don't think I need to go through and read everything to everybody. You can just take a look at what I've got going on here. So this next part of the video might be a little bit quiet. But yeah, you can just take a look here. See everything I've got set up here. If you need to, just pause it at this point. And then we'll go on over here, take a look. There's nothing on this side of it. Everything's just what it normally would be, but right here is the other stuff that is a little bit different. So I'm going to show you what the gear adjustments look like. These first four, I think, are the ones you need to change. I don't think you need to change the fifth gear. To get these numbers to there, you just got to keep adjusting them up. The first three, you just got to keep adjusting until you can actually get up to those numbers. Once you are there, if you remeasure, you should be sitting at 595.55. If you set it up the way I've set mine up here, I'm going to scroll back this way so you can just kind of get a look at everything on one here. But yeah, these are where all the changes are at. Just do everything exactly like this and you will end up just under 600. And I even believe it'll let you change your tires to racing soft during the race. I'm not 100% sure on that, but let's go hop on to Tokyo and find out. Get myself a quick oil change here. I know it's at normal, but I like to make sure it doesn't dip below that. Don't know if it actually causes problems with the cars or not. Wouldn't be surprised if it did. And you know what? We'll go ahead and give her a wash because she's looking a little dirty too. Alright, we're all clean. We got some good oil. Let's get out on Tokyo and... Alright, so this is doing the World Touring Car 600. The 12 lap one. I have completed it in a little over 18 minutes using this setup, which even with the new race where you get 1 million after an hour, doing an hour of this race, 3 races, 18 minutes, you're going to end up with, I think it's 2.475 million versus 1 million in an hour. So this is still the best race to do to earn their money. I've tried it with Sardinia and the other European race. The one you have to go a half hour even if you complete the 8 laps it says it is. You still got to keep going for 30 minutes. And the other one is a little over 20 minutes. I think it was like 23, 24 minutes. And it's less payout. So while the course is a little bit easier and you don't get penalties for banging off of the walls like you do in this one is the quickest way to earn the most amount of money in 1 hour. Or any amount of time, really. So as you can see, it's not yelling at me about anything, and it's going to let me go. So yes, I can do the hard, the medium, and the soft. So you can use all 3 of those. I don't have the intermediate or wet tires. I'd be surprised if it wouldn't let me switch to those as well. But let's give it a go, and you guys can see how it goes. How well the car is going to drive, and how much I'm going to bounce off the walls here. So the only thing I do is I will put the power on lean 6 and I'll set traction control high just because this is a wet course to start with. And it just helps you out a little bit. So as you can see, I'm still flying past everybody. I'm already over 260, hitting the wet portion of the course now. The first lap, you got to really kind of watch what you're doing because you will slide around and run into the walls and get those 5-second penalties. And as you can see, the road is a little wet and the car wants to fight against everything. So yeah, this first lap, you got to kind of take it a little easy. After this, and everybody starts driving around the course, it does start to dry out and it gets a lot easier to race and not have to slow down as much. This is another one of those corners where you got to kind of slow down on the first lap, just because you will hit the walls if you do not. Honestly, I'm surprised I haven't banged off of the walls yet. Now with this setup on this corner, I have noticed you got to try and get it into 4th gear before it'll actually grip the tires and go. Otherwise, it just keeps sitting there in 3rd gear doing this. So just kind of accelerate up slowly until it gets into 4th, and you're good to go. If you're using a manual transmission, then you shouldn't have that problem. I'm doing automatic, so anybody else doing it, little tip for you to know with this setup in this car. So there we go, first lap, under 2 minutes. Second lap should be improved unless I get a bunch of penalties, which definitely possible on this map. So I've already got one, but I'll probably still have an improved lap time over my first lap, is my guess. This corner, you got to get out of the gas a little bit, maybe tap the brake, but pretty much the rest of these corners, you don't need to let off of the accelerator. Just the very first one, the one I just talked about, and this one until the road dries out. Once the road's dried out, you can just let go of the accelerator for half a second and push it back and you'll be fine. Surprisingly, even with having the penalties for hitting the walls in this one, it's still faster than most of the other races to be able to do this and get the money you want to get. See, this is what I was talking about. There we go. Get into 4th gear, you're fine. Now, another thing to note on this race course, if you do get penalized, stay off to the left here. Otherwise, the AI will run right into you if they are near you and bump you into the wall, causing you to get more penalties. So the AI in this game could probably use a little bit of a rework. But even with the penalty, that lap was almost 10 seconds faster. Let's see if I can get through a 3rd lap with no penalty and maybe even faster. Oh, and I'm getting a whole bunch of penalties. Yay! Surprisingly, it's only at 10. There's the other 10. I knew it was going to bounce up. But yeah, here's the catching up with people part. If you can keep it in 4th gear going around that corner, you're golden. It's only if it drops out of 4th gear that you got to try and get it back. But I'm going to now go really slow for about 20 seconds. Well, for 20 seconds. Alright, now we're back racing. Unfortunately, I'm going to catch everybody in front of me on all these corners. Wow, even with the penalty, I almost had a faster lap. But yeah, I'm going to catch everybody in these corners. Not the best place to catch everyone, but it will happen using this car in this setup. I think I lap everybody about 4 times every time I run this. Depending on the number of penalties I take anyway. So yeah, not the best place to have to work through the crowd. But it is what it is, and you do what you do to try and not get silly penalties. I think 5 seconds is a ridiculous amount of time for that. And I'm probably going to get more because that car just bounced me into the wall. Yep, there it is. Yeah, 5 seconds is a ridiculous amount of time for barely tapping the wall, in my opinion. Like, I could see it if I drove full bore straight into the wall and didn't try and brake at all. But it is what it is. So there's people getting back on the lead lap for another couple of seconds because of the penalties that at least one of the cars, if not two of the cars, caused me to get. And now I'm back in front for at least another lap and a half until I catch up to them again. You can see my fuel range. I have 9.8 laps left. I'm on the 5th of 12, which means I will never need to pit using this setup. And you will see the AI pit at least once, if not twice during this race, I believe. So, as you can see, getting through a lap without penalties, which will allow you to maintain your speed down this stretch rather than slowing down under 50 miles an hour, I just knocked 18 seconds off my best lap. So if you can continue through without getting penalties, I have had my fastest lap down around 1 minute 18. So you can do that, and it'll obviously make your completion time shorter, which means you could probably run this even more times. It'd be wonderful if you could do every single lap in a minute, because then it would only take you 12 minutes, but obviously that's not a thing, nor could that even happen. So yeah, like I said, about a lap and a half, and I've already caught up to the back of the pack again. So like I said, he'll get it back. He'll immediately lose it, but he got it back briefly. And now I have to fight my way through the traffic again because of all the people I'm about to lap for the second time on the 7th lap. So really just kind of try and slow down in these areas so you're not getting those penalties, trying to avoid the cars you're lapping. It's something I struggle with because I always want my lap times to be faster than the previous one. But it doesn't always work that way because you end up bouncing on walls. Now, as you'll see, I did hit that car. I'm not sure how, but it'll still give me the clean race bonus at the end of this race. So I'll still get the 50% extra credit, which is nice. But you would think running into other cars, you would not get a clean race bonus. The bouncing off other cars doesn't seem to do it. Maybe if it looks like you're intentionally hitting the other cars, it might. But I have never raced this course and not gotten the extra bonus. I have had 20 seconds, 25 seconds worth of penalties on this course before. It is ridiculous, but even with those penalties, you still will win this race laps before your competition. So while it is annoying to have to constantly get slowed down by the game because you accidentally tapped a wall, you're still going to win probably under 20 minutes, unless you're getting 30-second penalties every time you come through here. Now, like I said, I'm staying to the left here. I realize there's nobody behind me. Nobody's going to run into me. But I do this to be sure, just to get in a habit. So that way, if there are people behind me, I'm not forgetting to get over. So I actually made it through this lap with no penalties and lapping people, and it looks like I am about to set my fastest lap time as well. Alright, knocked almost 2.5 seconds off. So right now I should actually be ahead of where I normally am in this section, just because of the amount of speed I have coming down, and the road's a little bit drier. So as you race this one, the road dries out. So it means you can go a little bit faster in sections, as well as grip more than you would in the beginning of the race. So theoretically, if it wasn't for penalties and the other traffic on this course, I would probably increase my fastest lap time every single lap, and probably be under 1 minute 15 is my guess. better get over to the left before they run me over. But I'm also going to go ahead and turn my power all the way back up. May as well. Sometimes it makes me drive a little bit better, but I don't need to conserve anything this lap, so let's finish it out strong. And as you can see, I am going to top 300 miles an hour down the straightaway and be really close to hitting some cars, but at least I didn't hit a wall, right? I think it would make more sense if they gave me a 5-second penalty for running into the cars on the course rather than tapping the wall barely. Oh, I almost made it through the last lap with no penalties. That would have been a first. I don't think I've ever had this last lap with no penalties. So there we go. That is the new setup for the Tomahawk, so you can do all of these races. Everybody was down 4 laps. I did it in 18 minutes and 40 seconds. Do it 3 times. There's your, what is it? I think it's like 2.475 million, because it should be 825. So that's 1.650, and then add the other 825 on top of it for the third one, and there you go. Faster than doing a race for an hour, even though if you got the 50% bonus, you'd have 1.5 at the end of that 1 hour. 3 of this race, 1 hour, less than an hour, you'll have more money. So here we go for now until the next update. Hopefully Polyphony, however you say the studio's name, doesn't patch it out again. And hopefully they don't just say you can't use the Tomahawk for this race if they don't feel like patching out, getting the PP down. So until next time, everybody take it easy, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.